Welcome to another day in the Matrix. This is Waters Above. Today is a very interesting day. I'm sure most of you have heard about this emergency alert test due to happen at 2:20 p.m. So in today's video, I'll be decoding this event and the agency tied to it, and then getting into a very important market review since we're in the most important month of the year for this market. So you're definitely going to want to stick around to the end and make sure to take notes because today's video is going to be packed with value. And due to popular demand, I just released one of my most requested decodes, the Great American Eclipse Decoded, which is available now at patreon.com/watersabove for the Mastermind community membership. And this presentation reviews everything you need to know as an investor during these final months of 2023. In preparation for what could be one of the last major bull run cycles for crypto in 2024, and how to take advantage of this opportunity so that you can be ahead of 99% of investors in this market. And since the new month just started over on Patreon, if you've been waiting to join, I appreciate your support. You could sign up today by visiting patreon.com/watersabove to join the Mastermind community membership and get instant access to my weekly Red Pill podcasts. That's my technical analysis podcast to wrap up the week, and for me to review the altcoins that our community votes on. And in my most recent podcast I released just a couple days ago, I shared all my thoughts on gold and silver precious metals as part of my updated investment thesis for 2024. And I also thoroughly explained my portfolio in detail, giving percentage breakdowns of my holdings so that new podcast is packed with value, especially with all the information from the Great American Eclipse Decoded included. And by becoming a Patreon supporter, you'll also get access to our Discord server for our community group chat, so you could come hang out with the Wolfpack. You'll have full access to my entire Livestream Archive with over 100 live streams, and you'll also unlock the biggest discounts on my courses. The link to Patreon can be found in the description box of this video and in the pinned comment below. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out, and make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious beings to help grow our community. And with that being said, let's take the clear pill. So today, October 4th, an emergency alert is scheduled for 2:20 p.m. Eastern time zone in the United States. It could be past then by the time you're watching this video. This organization that's responsible for this is the Federal Emergency Management Agency, also called in short, and I won't be saying this out loud to keep everything nice and clean and safe. And since I've had so many people reaching out to know my thoughts on this, let's decode this psyop, shall we? Well, this agency was formed in 1979. That was during a Shemitah year, the 7-year cycle practiced in Judaism that I speak about often because of its influence on markets. We had our last Shemitah year in 2021 through 2022, and we have gone through that whole exercise. We see what it did to the market. Absolutely mind-blowing to watch the all-time high for the stock market hit right into the start of the Shemitah, and then having the market bottom right there at the end in September into October of 2022. We moved into what is called the Jubilee year, which was a full year that comes around once every 50 years after 7 cycles of 7 Shemitah. And we just made it through that as well. So that is why I keep calling this the most important month in the market, because the last time we were here was 50 years ago, and we have officially moved through Jubilee, and here we are. And we'll be getting into a lot of this code as we go through today's video, but I just wanted to lay some foundation. If you're new here to the channel, welcome. So great to have you here with us. There's going to be a lot of these terms and ideas and code that you might be foreign to, but just relax, ask questions, and if needed, go watch my earlier videos. You'll be really well informed on what's going on in this market. So getting back to this, 1979, this agency was formed 44 years ago. 44 being a power number. What we do here when we decode is you want to speak out the number. So 4 fours becomes 16. And this agency acronym adds up to 16 in Gematria. Remember we were talking earlier about the Shemitah and the 7-year cycle. Well, 1 plus 6 reduces to 7. 2 plus 5 reduces to 7. There's 7s here in this code. Keep that in mind. So they started in a Shemitah year. That means that the number 7 is heavily tied to them. And the fact that we've moved out of Jubilee year and we're having this event happen at this time, it's not by accident. This was intentionally planned far in advance. Well, another thing we've noticed in this code is it adds to 25. Here we're very focused on crypto. We'll show you that code. Crypto giving you 25, the full term. Cryptocurrency giving you the mirror of that number, 52. But coming back to this, 25, we know that we're in the year of the rabbit. And again, we have that 25 code. And also, this organization's acronym adding up to 18. This is a very important number in Judaism. And we were talking earlier about the Shemitah, again, that's practiced in the Hebrew calendar. Well, this is a huge giveaway because 18 is 6 plus 6 plus 6, 3 6s. I want you to remember this because it will be a theme throughout today's decode. And what we're talking about here is this emergency alert. And you could see this adding up to 151. 151 is the 36th prime number. We were just talking about 666. That's 3 6s. The date that this agency was formed goes back specifically to April 1st. This is where we're going to get a little deeper in today's code. April 1st, 1979. We're going to go over here and get that in the calculator. And we're going to compare it to today, being October 4th of this year. And of course, we have that 44 code we were talking about earlier, but I want to get into the dates here in Gregorian, just the regular calendar. We have this date as 1/4, written internationally, and today also being 10/4. You remove the 0 in the rules of numerology, you're going to come back to 1/4. These dates mirror each other. They're essentially the same date. So this code of 14 is significant. And earlier we were talking about 7. Well, 7 plus 7 is 14, right? If it's coded by the 7s, it adds even more to this decoding system that we're talking about. Well, this code of 14 is significant because it ties specifically to the year this agency was formed in 1979, being in the Chinese zodiac, the year of the goat. And I'm going to show you that by the code. And this shows you we're using all of these systems and we're synchronizing it all together. Goat adds up to 43 in Gematria. 43 is your 14th prime number. Remember, this is the 1/4 date. This is also the 1/4 date today. All right. Now, the goat is also associated with the ram, and we're going to show you that code as well. We have ram giving you 14. Remember a couple of years ago on my channel, we were talking about the Super Bowl and how all of these big events, these big sports games on the world stage are basically just prana harvesting experiments. The same thing that goes for these really big concerts, also the Olympics, and all of these events are predictive programming and they're showing you code. Well, if you're new to my channel, go back couple of years ago into my videos here on YouTube, and you're going to see something where we were talking about that Super Bowl and the LA Rams, who won Super Bowl 56 against the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals. And that was during the year of the tiger. Now, during that year, any tiger symbolism had a negative aspect, and since that was also the year of the Shemitah, which we were talking about earlier, and the rabbi blows the shofar, which is the ram's horn, we know there was a positive aspect for the Rams tied to that popular and, really important code that we were talking about earlier with the Shemitah, and they ended up winning that Super Bowl as we anticipated. And the score of that game, we're going to go right over here, you're going to see it was 20-23. Here we are in the year 2023. So there's code hidden in that past event that gives us clues to this year. And yes, I will be decoding Super Bowl 58 next year when that time comes. But for now, getting back to these dates, I find it very fascinating in this date range that if we connect April 1st, 1979, the day this agency was formed, to today, October 4th, 2023, and you check this box over here that says include end date, you'll see it's exactly 44 years and 187 days apart. And here in the United States, 187 is the kill code. It's the murder code. And we're talking about 44 being 44 years old, and we have the word kill giving you 44. Coincidentally, just a little side note. 44 times 2 is 88. Today, the day is October 4th, 2023, the day leaving 88 days left in the year. Half of 44. 88 is the analemma, the movement of the sun, and the movement of the moon in our realm. Again, 44 is 2 4s. You can esoterically write this out as 24. Remember, 44 is 2 4s. I want to continue to drill this in with you guys so that you become better decoders. And I know I'm moving very fast here, but if this stuff is confusing or it's very new to you or any of that, just know that in a couple months, I will be releasing my newest full course called the Decoding Mastermind Course. I'm really excited to get that out because that will make everyone here, whether you're a complete beginner or in the advanced level, you will walk away after doing that course as one of the top level decoders. It will be a mind-blowing experience for everyone. I'm really excited to get that out. And again, if you're newer here, I know this is a lot of information, but feel free to ask questions in the comment section, and the fellow decoders that are here in our community will definitely help you out. But getting back to this 44 and how we esoterically write this out as 2 4s, which becomes 24. This is a more advanced decoding technique that I use often to find what's hidden within the numbers. So this 24 is the code behind this Hebrew year that we're in right now. We're in the Hebrew year of 5,784. That adds up to 24. The 24th letter in the alphabet is X. Elon Musk acquired Twitter and changed it to X Corp in preparation for the end of this recent jubilee. And now we're moving into the Gregorian year of 2024. This is the year that I'm calling the year of the X. This is all broken down thoroughly in my recent Great American Eclipse Decoded over on Patreon. It's why I am so bullish on XRP in the year 2024. So this term that's going viral right now, I'm just going to copy and paste this over here. The whole term that has been going viral and trending over on X is this emergency alert test. And it adds up to 240. You remove the 0, you get back to 24. It's very important you realize this. It's all a setup, and this is the most important number to pay attention to right now, is the number 24. And we also see that 96. That's directly associated to death, endings, or big changes. So you can also consider it as new beginnings. And tied back to that murder code, that kill code 187 we were talking about earlier. 44 years and 187 days since this agency was formed. And I'm telling you right now, this 96 code is all about endings and new beginnings. Well, the Queen died at 96 during the Shemitah year, which was also during her Platinum Jubilee. She died 96 days after the banking holiday that was associated with celebrating this occasion of the Platinum Jubilee. What a coincidence. This was because she was moving from her 69th year as queen to her 70th year, Platinum Jubilee. Remember, 69 is just the mirror of 96. As above, so below. We always mirror when we're decoding. And on the 69th day of this year, Silicon Valley Bank failed. Bitcoin's current all-time high is 69,000. That also happened during the last Shemitah year. And that year, Rosh Hashanah, started on September 6th. the Hebrew New Year. Well, September 6th in the Gregorian system, you'd write that as 6-9, or internationally as 9-6. Sorry, you see how obvious this code is now? This 6996 code has been directly related to finance in all aspects for pretty much the last 2 years. Specifically because not only was it a Shemitah year in 2021 to 2022, but it was a Jubilee year from 2022 to 2023. And we're here. Now that we've left that essence, a lot of this energy that was pent up, it needs to release. That's how black magic works, guys. That's who is running this world. The apex predator, the elite, they are just magicians. And they're using us as the experiment. Well, going back to this, if we look at the time it took Bitcoin to hit that all-time high of 69,000, it was 63 days after Hebrew New Year. Remember earlier we were speaking about the number 36 being 3 sixes, 666. Well, the mirror of 36 is, of course, 63. You must be aware that crypto is tied into all of this because crypto is the new economy. Blockchain technology is here and it is slowly being implemented as it has, and it will replace the old system, just like the monarchy is being replaced by new stewards of the realm. The apex predator no longer wants you to care about kings or queens. That's old news. And next, they will have it so that the masses don't even care about presidents or prime ministers. They want you to think that they're all incompetent fools so that you desire a quote-unquote new political system. And this is where they will be able to get away with moving in with an exoteric one-world ruling system, and the zombies that walk amongst us will literally be begging for this. Better yet, you've probably seen this in some of the countries that you live in, especially in the first world. You see that all of the leadership over the last 5 years, they're buffoons, and they're putting those people in those positions on purpose so that you think they're a joke. Remember, the elites are looking at this so-called reality like a chess game, and they know that 99% are playing checkers, so they will do what they do best, which is inject chaos into the system on purpose to bring order. It's all orchestrated, and this emergency alert test is no different. So I've been asked 100 times what I think about all of this, and it's simple. What's happening today is an exercise. It's a simulation of predictive programming for a bigger event, okay? Just like Event 201 was for C19, which was a partnership between the World Economic Forum and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which was a simulation that took place for 18 months. Remember, 18 is 6 plus 6 plus 6. The World Economic Forum's logo, we'll check that out for a moment. It is simply just the 666 through the O's. 3 O's, it's the unholy trinity. This is an eclipsed sun. We're about to have a solar eclipse on October 14th. This event is happening 10 days before that solar eclipse. Coincidence? Remember I was telling you about the number 24? Well, this agency formed 52 years ago, tied directly to what we were saying about the year of the rabbit, and you can see on the 24th day of the year, during that year, 1971, what happened that year? The Nixon shock. That's why gold is under my radar right now, and it's a big part of my investment thesis. Like I said earlier, I share all of that information in great detail, including my portfolio, in my most recent Red Pill podcast. Any of you watch that podcast, go ahead and share some of your thoughts on how many gems were exposed inside of it and the amount of value that it had. Probably one of my best podcasts I've done this year. So getting back to this, we were just talking about 18 months of this simulation. You can see that right there. That's 6 plus 6 plus 6. It involved this World Economic Forum. Their logo has the 666 with the eclipsed sun. We know that they are a big player in this game right now. You can't deny that. But moving on, remember that Event 201 happened in the month of October. All right? Just like we're in now. Specifically October 18th of 2019. Then C19 started a little less than 5 months after. exactly 4 months and 22 days to be exact. So this year on October 18th would be the 4-year anniversary of that event during this year where this agency is 44 years old. It's very important to realize these codes. So let's take the time from that event 201 until C19 was declared a pandemic on March 11th, 2020, being 4 months and 22 days, and then add that to today to see if we have something here. So we're going to be moving over to this time frame, 4 months, 22 days after, and this is going to bring us to February 26th. So this is how we're utilizing this information. We're taking what happened in past simulations, the most important past simulation that completely changed our whole reality, and we're taking what's going to be happening today with this emergency alert test simulation and applying that same code and seeing if we're onto something here, and I believe we are. So you can see that we have a 57 date numerology today on this exact date. This also matches because this day, February 26th of 2024, will be the 57th day of the year. This date also has an 18 standard date numerology. Remember, 6 plus 6 plus 6. But here's the real gem that I'll leave you with before we move into discussing the markets. This October 4th date today, it has a hidden code in it, being the 277th day of the year. 277 is the 59th prime number. We are moving into the year of the dragon. And you're going to see 59. The next Chinese New Year is in February of 2024, which ties perfectly into what we were talking about with tying these simulations together. And if we shift just a couple days up to February 28th, you're going to see that this is the 59th day of the year, and tomorrow is also tied in, or October 6th, this has code 2 with it being the 59th day in date numerology. So I think that there is something that could be going on this Friday, perhaps smaller, but even more important than what's happening today. And I think it ties perfectly in this code to this day right here. So this is the way I'm looking at it, because I know that everything that's popular, like what's been going on today, is a distraction. And I'll get to that in a moment. But I just wanted you to see like the method to my madness here. Now note, we do not only have 28 days in February in 2024 because it will be a leap year. So we have effectively a 29th day, which makes me think of that post-apocalyptic movie called 28 Days Later. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. All right. Well, this movie came out in 2002. And that is 2-2. Just like we were talking about earlier, dragon equals 2-2. That's the master number, the master builder, and the master destroyer number. That movie was about a viral outbreak. Think of 28 being 2 8s, or 88, just like today, again, is the day leaving 88 days in the year. It's mind-blowing stuff. So getting back to February 28th, that is also the day leaving 307 days in the year. 307 is the 63rd prime number, 63 being the mirror of 36, again, 3 6s, 666. Remember how earlier I told you 63 days after the year of the Shemitah started Rosh Hashanah in September 2021, Bitcoin hit its current all-time high of 69,000. You see the theme here? I think we cracked the code on the setup for this simulation of this emergency alert test. Look at how when we connect tomorrow, October 5th, to this particular date that I was telling you, the 59, this is absolutely wild how it's all coded in together. I mean, we definitely, I think, discovered something, and I would love to know some of your thoughts below. Please let me know what you guys are thinking, because I know we have great decoders in here. You can't make this stuff up. So there it is. Mark your calendars for February 28th. What's also really amazing about this date, we're going to tie this into the 8th eclipse, and you're going to see that it is 1 month and 11 days before the Great American Eclipse, the second eclipse that we'll be having, that 111 code, that ties us back to New York, 111. And event 201 that we were talking about earlier happened in New York City, like the 9/11 ritual happened in New York City on September 11th. That's the day leaving 111 days in the year, and we just had the 22nd anniversary of 9/11. This code is absolutely mind-blowing, and you must invest your attention into this stuff if you want to be prepared for what's to come, because everything that is exoteric, like this viral emergency alert test stuff, has been on the internet over the past couple weeks. Well, of course it's to distract you from the real event that's to come in the future. Look here so you don't look there. Again, if it's popular, it's wrong. If it's popular, it's a distraction. Here we are decoding the exoteric to uncover the esoteric. Then the truth will no longer be hidden. As we uncover the truth, we must stay neutral and simply utilize this wisdom to respond, while most are unprepared and just continue to react emotionally to all this stuff, letting it completely drain their life force from them. Protect your prana. And just a quick recap on the dates to consider for this market. We have the upcoming Friday the 13th very soon. Again, Friday the 13th is always spoken about in the occult, October 13th. Then that is the day before our solar eclipse on October 14th. We've been talking about this day forever now. Then that following week on October 19th, it will be the 36th anniversary of the Black Monday flash crash in 1987. We were talking about the 36 a lot earlier today, so now you know how powerful that code is. And again, I cover all of this in depth in my recent Red Pill podcast and Great American Eclipse Decoded that I just released over on Patreon just a couple of days ago. So again, if you signed up for the Mastermind community, I greatly appreciate your support. It really means a lot to me. So before we get into the TA, go ahead and give this video a like if you haven't already. Spread some love in the comment section. That's what we're all about here. And it's very important that we kick off today's TA looking at the Dow Jones, believe it or not. We need to talk about this because this is going to be showing up in the crypto market, or it is showing us lots of what a lot of people have been denying about the economy. And because they're following economic data and they're not looking at where the money's actually going, and they're not looking at the charts. Here we've been focused on the charts because that's what tells us the truth before any events happen, before any news shows up. So we talked about this blue trend line here at the bottom effectively breaking, and then we talked about magnetizing down to this green trend line, which was a prior resistance that was holding as a resistance for about 200 days before we made our yearly top. Lately, we've actually tested down on this trend line and we broke below it. And not only did we break below that, but we also started closing critical daily candles below the golden pocket, below this 618 fib. Now, naturally, we expect it heading towards the 0.5 fib, and that'll be around 32,500 points. That's a very, very critical level. Any closes below this sort of level that we're in, I would specifically say 32,800. I would anticipate a swipe all the way down to the 382 fib, which would officially complete the finality of this phase called the automatic rally, which I told everyone to anticipate back at the end of the Shemitah here in September 2022, a year ago. The time frame for this lower test on the Dow is within this month, and we want to keep the dates of Friday the 13th through October 19th in mind. That'll be the 36th anniversary of the Black Monday flash crash. It'll be also heading closer to our full moon in this month. We have the full moon on September 29th. So the energy leading into that is more bearish after we get through, of course, our new moon. So we have the new moon. Effectively, it is our solar eclipse. We are talking about the stock market now, not Bitcoin. So I just want to clearly delineate that so you guys are following along here with accuracy, because crypto is in a different sort of essence than the Dow Jones. When we're looking at the indices, we see that they all had this hyper-extended relief rally, automatic rally, well above the 786, not only for the Dow, for the S&P, and the NASDAQ made it all the way up to the almost 888 fib on the charts. Sorry for a little bit of this lag time in the loading, but We could see this right here. We had a very parabolic advance leading into July of this year. With crypto, we did not have that. Bitcoin didn't even make it to the 0.5 fib, but it still did an automatic rally, just not as exuberant as it has done in the past. But that's the thing with crypto, is we tend to have very bearish, long extended time frames, and then we just go straight line breakout, parabolic, and we have way more gains than what's going on in the stock market. You guys are well aware of this. But getting back, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the technicals here on the Dow Jones as we broke through the bottom of this golden pocket and this prior support trend line, which was holding into our yearly high. It's no longer a support. We're right back below it, heading towards the 0.5 fib, clearly showing a sign of weakness. Heading towards the 0.5, any daily closes below 32,800. I'm anticipating a swipe down to this 382 level. That completes the automatic rally. And if we're looking at our RSI right now, we could see that it's only about 25. So we're not even that oversold. We have a ton of room to go. We can definitely go lower, maybe closer to like 18 RSI is in the cards if this trading week closes below 33,000 points, which we're like hovering the line right now. Okay, so in more drastic situations, we've seen a 19 RSI on the weekly chart. Okay, for the Dow, that happened during the C19 crash, as well as the 2008 subprime mortgage crisis. I'd assume we'd have to get down to around 29,000 points, somewhere here, into like double bottom territory to see those types of reads. That would essentially be back at the Shemitah lows. Again, kind of like a double bottom situation, which is not weird after you have such an overextended automatic rally phase. The more you go up, the more you tend to fall. But I just want to make an emphasis on this, given that this is a pre-election year and we tend to have a healthy December and overall positive Q1 during the election year. Like I've said for a year now, if we are going to get any deeper corrections in 2023, it will be during the September through November 2023 timeframe, with emphasis on the month of October, since we have a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse during this month. And the lunar eclipse on October 28th and 29th is just 3 days before Fed Chair Powell will be speaking at the next FOMC meeting on November 1st. And the following meeting won't be until mid-December. So how perfectly timed is all of this? That'll be right during the 44th week of this year. Remember earlier, we were talking about this agency is 44 years old. Pay attention to this code. So with all of this foundation, this is the perfect time to move into the crypto market, and we'll be starting with Bitcoin to see the setup and what we could anticipate for crypto if we're going to get more downside pressure in the traditional markets. So we're over here. Bitcoin actually looking pretty good over the last couple days. We saw this happen back over here in April, where we gravitated up right before the solar eclipse. That tends to be kind of the energy that we see, and it is happening this time too. Remember, during a solar cycle, Bitcoin is strong. During a lunar cycle, Bitcoin is weak. Every lunar eclipse we had during our lunar cycle was a huge crash, and it was also a ritual of several companies such as Terra Luna basically completely getting destroyed during a lunar eclipse during the lunar cycle. Then we saw what happened with FTX. That was during a lunar eclipse in the lunar cycle. Now we're here. We're in a solar cycle. Bitcoin stealing the show. It's gaining a lot of dominance. And we're pretty much mimicking the energy of what happened back in the last solar eclipse of April 2023, just a couple months ago. We're gravitating up, and it wouldn't shock me if we're going to be topping out in a similar energy, getting right into this event. But I talk about this in depth in my recent podcast, how we don't want to be betting against Bitcoin after the second solar eclipse of a solar cycle. I don't have the time to break that all down in today's video because it's already quite long, but I go into it in detail in that podcast. I'm just letting you know that at this time, Bitcoin is pretty much going to move into an energy where it steals the show. It's going to go up after this solar eclipse into the month of November and into December. And as it goes up, we might not see that reflect in the altcoins. So the buying opportunities for Bitcoin are coming to a conclusion very, very soon, within the next couple weeks, leading into early November. Whilst with the altcoins, we have some time. And this is no different than other cycles. We could pay attention to the cycles going back to 2016 even, when XRP was trading back then. We have the charts of Monero, Dash. We can see the evidence. Bitcoin can steal the show right now, and that's why we can see days where Bitcoin is up 0.5%, 1%. We could see altcoins getting pushed down 3%, 4% at the same time frame. So just wanted to share those thoughts, and technically we're still looking at a lower high. So there's no trend reversals at this time. Even this past couple days, we saw a fake out move to the upside, but still just another lower high in the structure. We want to pay attention to 25K to 26K Bitcoin. That seems to be the opportunity here. If we break lower than 25, I've already told you we could dump down to 22 right at this 236 fib, but that'll probably be fast. If that was to happen, it would need to be like a flash crash style, sort of like this moment back here in March when Silicon Valley Bank failed. You can see that pretty much between the dates of the 3rd up through the 7th, or 7 days later, we dropped about 12%. If we were to take the full amount, we pushed 16% down in 7 days. If that was to be the case now, moving 16% in 7 days, it'd bring us to 20 right there, 23K. So anything like this is possible at this time. Don't be shocked if you see that, but the way it reacts to that will also be similar. I feel Bitcoin will spring right back, and after the second solar eclipse leading into November, we should be healthy back into the 30K range. So I still believe we will have an end of the year Bitcoin price that is similar to our current yearly highs. By the month of December, we should be back in the low 30s, maybe even breaking out into the next level up. So that tends to be what Bitcoin does around this time. How will that reflect in altcoins? It'll keep them stable, but it doesn't necessarily mean they will follow Bitcoin just yet. That'll take some time. I hope this all makes sense, guys. So in essence, if we're going to get any moves down, it has to happen sooner than later, within the month of October. It doesn't matter how specific we get. That doesn't matter. It's about how you respond to it all. So buying opportunities are coming to a conclusion for Bitcoin. By the month of November into December, we should be right back to where we were in July. Now, going over to Ethereum, we could definitely see this was a fake out. This move that we got up, another Twin Towers-like event. We see the same essence happen back in August. It's no different. We're right back into that horizontal support level around the middle 1600 range. This doesn't look good for ETH. Again, ETH is weak because Bitcoin is stealing the dominance. It's stealing the show right now. So not really too many updates to share on Ethereum, but if we were to get a push down for Bitcoin at 25K, that could give us a 1550 ETH and no party to be had on ETH until we break above 2050. So we're still just in this horizontal range with lower highs and lower lows. This is a micro downtrend thus far in a macro trend reversal. So any deeper corrections, it would be great to see 1500. Perhaps if we do get a really quick move to the downside, similar to this March 10th event, we could see it'll probably mimic Bitcoin, be very fast, spring back up. Keep that in mind. We're in that mode right now where we're anticipating quick flashes to the downside at any time. A 10% candle could come in Ethereum, and that's just another day in the matrix. I want you guys to be prepared for that stuff because it's just opportunity. Now, getting over to XRP, I know there's been some talk around the town. They had that event happen just a couple of weeks ago, a week ago, I believe, right into a huge flood ritual that happened in New York City. Classic. I wanted to go to this trend line really quickly, though, to show you how it is continuing to be an important trend line regardless of the party that Ripple had and regardless of a recent update yesterday. We don't even care to touch too much on that stuff because we know it's all exoteric and it doesn't matter at all at the end of the day. But we have this trend line that was holding as a support back in May, back in June at our launch point, and then we returned right back to it. Lately, we've corrected below it and now we're treating it as a resistance. So I would like to see I do think that if Bitcoin's going to have one more push down, we could hold on XRP. XRP is very neutral during this phase of when Bitcoin is in a solar cycle, and we're moving into the year of the X, which is positive for XRP. So I think that anything around 50 cents is good right now, and if we're going to get any flashes, it's going to potentially be like the 46, 42 level. It would be a gift to really see XRP getting any lower. This is a great time to dollar cost average, of course. I mean, the upside opportunity on XRP is into the $8, $20 range. We're talking big jumps up from where we are now. So there's no point in getting, worried about small moves between 40 cents, 44, 46. It's all just opportunity to dollar cost average. So we can't really get too excited though for XRP until we break above 64 cents. Right now, we're just trapped in the same horizontal range that's been in play pretty much since the end of the bull run. You see what I mean? We have this crown top distribution again and again. And now we're effectively still facing the same resistance that we've been up against for over a full year. 370 days. This is a level that XRP really likes to play around in, and we continue to gravitate down there, which is an accumulation range. So words of wisdom here is we have a lot going down over the next couple weeks. This is really one of the most important months in the market, and we have a lot of key dates right around the corner with Friday the 13th, the solar eclipse on the following day. The next week we have 4th anniversary since event 201. The following day after that is the 36th anniversary of the Black Monday flash crash. So we've gone over everything. I hope you have your investment thesis well prepared and your limit orders set. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, just sharing what I would be doing right now. So I appreciate every single one of you. Again, let me know your thoughts on this great American eclipse if you have watched it. I'm really excited because this will be a part 1 to a 2-part series where I will come out with another decode about the April 8th, 2024 eclipse. This is just getting everything started. I appreciate every single one of you. Wishing you an amazing rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.